I get off vicariously bringing somebody that shouldn't make a penny, not a guilder. But somehow I made you make $100 million or guilders or pound or euros now, because I am the best on the planet at getting you to do what you don't want to do because you're a lazy fuck, to get what you look in the mirror. Most of you don't like what they see, not just because you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're bald, you're gray, whatever. It's because you know what you could have been. We're in the regret minimization business. When I was your age, I said, by the time I'm 80, I don't want these regrets. And now I'm 72. Shit, I should have said by the time I'm 90, because age, creeps up on you. And people ask me, are you happy? I said, yes. I've only got 3 regrets in my life, 3. 1, I'm a combat-trained Army officer who never saw combat. That's just the way it was during the Vietnam War. 2, I yelled at my mother the day before she died. I said, Mom, you're not sick. God damn it, you're not going to fucking die. Next morning, she's dead. And 3, I didn't set my goals high enough. Not because I missed my son's soccer ball. Not because I missed my daughter's prom. That's all rubbish. That's not what you say when you're about to die. And you whisper in your wife's ear or your son's ear or whoever's going to give the eulogy, I regret the things I didn't do. I coulda, I woulda, I shoulda. Maybe I shouldn't have too many cappuccinos in the sun too long, on the canal. I did it for 2 hours today. I won't do it again for 25 years. Although I could do it every single day. I'm just like you, I'm human. But I wouldn't be drinking cappuccinos. I'd be drinking Old Geneva, chased with Heineken.
So how's your perfect life balance?
Well, I don't have a perfect life. Jack Welch, arguably the greatest CEO in the history of the world, who managed in General Electric for 25 years, he said there is no work-life balance. There are work-life challenges, and we make decisions and we live with them. Do you think Elon Musk has work-life balance? No. Do you think Steve Jobs, when he was alive, had work-life balance? No. Do you think Bill Gates? No. Henry Ford? No. Original Heineken? No. So if none of those people that created the wealth of the world had work-life balance, why do you think you're going to have it? Why? Because you deserve it? I don't think so. You deserve what you get in life by working hard. When our kids got out of, and they went to great schools, when they got out of school, I said, be the first in the building and the last to leave. And my daughter says, Daddy, that's the janitor. The guy that cleans the floor. I said, yes, honey. 5 months into her first job, she said, the chairman of the company, big company, said, whose light is that up there? Oh, that's Kelly Pena's. What is she? She gets to work at 5 o'clock, and then he's leaving. Whose light is that at 11:15 at night? Well, that's it's still Kelly Pena. And I said also, if you're in sales, make 300 cold calls a day. 300 cold calls a day. And for those
300 cold calls a day.
Correct.
Will it still work nowadays?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
We got kids doing it right now.
Question.
We even got some lazy Dutch kids doing it right now.
Just pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Make
and
the
I
call.
mean, for a Dutch kid, 24 years old, to make 20 cold calls a day, you'd think it's a big fucking deal. There's nobody's teaching sales in this country that I'm aware of that tells you to make 300 cold calls a day. In fact, there's nobody on the planet that I'm aware of that tells you to make 300 cold calls a day. I had a guy just do a $50 million deal. He said, Dan, if you had just told me I was 2,000 cold calls away from my first deal, I would have sent you a check for 20 grand and said thank you, and I wouldn't have come to the castle.
Where's the fun part in your life?
I'm having fun right now. I love what I do. Most of you in this audience don't like what you do. That's why, with the greatest respect, that's why Michael can help you. Most of the people on the 87, Gallup poll did a survey in 2016. 87% of the people on the planet, not counting all the Biafra, Ghana, Kenya kind of countries, 87% of the planet hate what they do. They've checked out. They're just taking up time, waiting for retirement. I'm sure some of you in this room can relate to that. 87% have checked out. Now, to me, if you've checked out, I mean, what the hell? Jesus. And you're all going to live older. The 70 is the new 50, they tell me. I don't even feel 50, I feel 30. I am 30. I got more energy than probably the whole room. Because I love dragging you sorry guys and gals across the goal line. My wife, lovely wife Sally, says the reason I have arthritis in my back is because you're getting heavy now that I'm getting older, dragging you across the goal line. But I will kick, spit, slap. I will do whatever it takes. And when I say I'll do whatever it takes, I fucking mean it. I will insult you, your mother, your religion. I know how to get you to the top of the podium at the Olympics. Not for a bronze medal, not for a silver, but for a fucking gold. If we're not going for gold, don't waste my time. I know how to do it.
You named the word religion. Do you believe?
Yes.
In what?
I'm a Catholic boy, altar boy.
You went to church?
The Catholic Church. The last thing I do every night is I fall asleep saying my prayers. My wife can attest to that. I fall asleep every single night saying my prayers. I have for 68 years.
Prayers or affirmations?
No. Affirmations first, prayers last. Prayers I fall asleep doing, because I don't want to fall asleep during my affirmations.
If you do the prayers, you got to believe in something.
Yeah, I believe in God.
What's
I do.
Yeah?
I believe in God, yeah.
And you think he
I have no
helps you?
proof. Neither do you. I have no proof, but I have faith.
Faith.
And that's one of the missing things from your, not a journey, because life's not a journey. Journey are for meatheads. Life is, find somebody who you want to be like and follow what he did. Just like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle did 2,500 years ago. So I modeled very successful people, and that's what the whole program is based on. But I believe, and the kids that are the most successful, whether they're the lazy Dutch kids that I poke fun at, or everybody else, is they have faith. But most of you don't have, and I say generally speaking, most of you don't have faith in yourselves because you got low self-esteem, no self-confidence. You look like shit. You dress like shit. And you blame it on the 21st century, the reason why you dress the way you do. 25 years ago, if you come to a seminar like this, you'd all be wearing suit and tie. 40 years ago, the women would be wearing hats. This is my uniform. I don't go to sleep like this, but I mean, this is my uniform. It has been for a long, long, long time. Dress, if you want to get money from banks, dress like the president of your country. Unless you're from Pakistan or India or something, dress like the president or the prime minister of your country. You only have one time to make a first impression, kids. You come in looking like some of you, I wouldn't give you fucking toilet paper. Most of you, I'd be embarrassed the way you're dressed. But see, Michael didn't bring me here to make, if I leave here with anybody liking me, I failed. You understand what I'm saying? I failed. I'm not here to be your friend. You want a friend, go get a fucking dog. I'm here to drag your sorry ass across the goal line, no matter what it takes. And there's no better on the planet than me at doing it, as demonstrated by all the tens of billions I've created. Can you imagine? I'm getting all excited now. Just look at this. Even the sorriest ones in here, I could probably 50 million. And there's a couple of billionaires out there. I got to strain to find one, but I mean, there are. The odds are there's at least 2 or 3 billionaires in this room to be.
Potentially.
Yes, sir, potentially. 2 or 3. But would those 2 or 3 make the sacrifices necessary? When I was...
What is necessary? What's the best advice? How to do it?
The best advice is find something you love. Find something that can change 1 billion lives. Zuckerberg is a classic example. He changed more than 1 billion lives.
Added value.
Correct. Added value change, you make 1 billion lives better, potentially. You may not get to 1 billion people, but potentially you can make 1 billion lives better, and the odds have just gone geometrically up for you to become a billionaire. And if not a billionaire, a whole bunch of money. There's going to be 6 billion cell phones sold between now and 2030. 6 billion more cell phones. There's going to be third world countries are going to grow their consumption of Coca-Cola, soft drinks, and that kind of stuff by 1,000% between now and 2030. I can go down a whole list of things, but you're not working on any of those. If any of you speak French and are black, go to Haiti. They have nothing. If any of you speak Spanish and Trump doesn't drop the trigger on Cuba, go to Cuba. They have nothing. Sally and I were just there. If any of you speak Farsi or Arabic, go to Iran. But now I'm not saying that because we're going to bomb Iran probably, and don't go to Syria. Just like I told people, if you spoke Russian, go to Russia back when the wall fell. Just like I told people when China opened up, learn Chinese. We send our youngest son, he speaks fluent Mandarin. But no, Holland see? How many are willing to go to Haiti, learn French? Nobody. Anybody? No, I'm not going to. Those are just 5 off the top of my head. I got 1,005 more. And we have people in Haiti right now. I have people in Iran right now. I have people in Russia right now. I have people in China now. Brazil, you speak Portuguese, go to Brazil.
So what you say is go there where they need.
They have no infrastructure.
They have nothing. You can help other people and make money.
Legally.
That's the deal.
Yes, sir.
Give some, get some.
And you'll be helping them more than they're helping you.
So you give more than you take. That's always the rule.
Correct. Correct. Honest, moral, ethical has got to be the 3 basis benchmarks. Even though you may sound that I think I sound different, but honest, moral, ethical. Those 3. And there's so much money, God almighty. One of my German kids, the last 18 deals he's done, he sent me his stats, average 2% was the borrowing rate from the banks. 2%. And it's easier to do a 5 million than a 500,000, and it's easier to do a 50 million than a 5 million, and easier to do a 5 billion. Same paperwork, but you got to have a big dream, big ideas. Big ideas, and there's certainly a lot of big ideas, and some of those ideas are on the internet. They are. Most of them won't get there, but I mean, look at all the incubators, etc., in the Silicon Valley type places there are on the planet now. They're all over the place, and money, and there's the European Union has money, the International Monetary Fund has money, the World Bank has money. I'm the only person on the planet that I know of that sends people to those 3 places to get money. The guy that got money from the World Bank took him 80 phone calls to 80 different departments until he found the right department to get the money. The World Bank doesn't know what they're doing. The International Monetary Fund doesn't know what they're doing. The EU for sure doesn't know what they're doing. They got tons of money. And governments, if they don't use the money, they lose it.
But financing by banks has been changed over the past years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if one goes to a bank now, what should you do? What should you tell them?
Well, you got to come up with our system. My system is based on you find a mentor that's done it before you. You put a dream team together, and so it's not just you. It's you with 5 or 6 guys and gals that are really world class, and you've got plenty of them here in the Netherlands. I was telling you about one of my dream teams from the 90s with some very well-to-do guys here in the Netherlands, and you're gonna, and we're gonna change. My idea is better than motherhood, apple pie, and religion. I mean, we're going to change the way the world is today. I mean, those are the kind of words that they use now, and the bankers give you the money. as outlandish as the request might seem, they give you the money. I don't mean give it. They take it in the credit committee, yada, yada. So I'm not saying that they just, fall down dead and they throw the money at your feet. It'll seem that way in some of the cases. Because like right now, it used to be green. Everything green power was hot. That's passé now. Cybersecurity is the hottest thing on the planet today. Cybersecurity. There is nothing hotter. Cybersecurity. Pharmaceuticals is hot. Hot.
Telecom?
Well, still telecom, but now there's different areas of telecom. Healthcare, old age, assisted living. It's hot, because none of you want to take care of your parents. You kick them out to the curb, you want to put them in some place for 1,100 euros or 1,200 euros or...
Luxury elderly homes.
Yeah, but you can pay up to 25,000 euros a month for the country club elderly homes. What do you call it?
It doesn't matter where you do that. Here,
You can
in the
take,
States,
they
wherever.
don't have yellow pages anymore, but they used to have yellow pages. You can just throw the yellow pages down, and wherever it opens up. Physiotherapy. Who is a dentist going to give his practice to? You want a motivated seller between 55 and 65, 67-ish, who has no plan of succession, meaning they have nobody to give their business to. Their kids don't want it. Crematoriums are hot, pun intended. Funeral homes are hot. Cemeteries are hot. But see, you don't want to do those. I can just tell by the look in their faces. Right now, radiology clinics are hot. Oh God, surgical care centers are hot. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. Because there's no plan of succession. Meaning, what are you going to do when the 4 doctors that had the radiology practice, now they're in their 60s or 70s, what are we going to do with it? We're going to sell it to some meathead like you, if you're there. But if you don't ask, you don't get. As Bruce the Whipple, one of my great mentees, told me many years ago, actually he's not the first person, I've been giving him credit for 25 years, but actually Costa Gratsos, the CEO of Onassis Group, who was my mentor, told me, if you don't ask, Mr. Pena, you cannot get. So I used to carry that forward into my love life. If you don't ask, you don't get, right guys?
You named Costa Gratsos.
Costa Gratsos, yes sir.
He was one of your heroes,
Correct.
mentors. Where did you find your teachers? How did you meet
I
them?
was in the oil business, and I was in Onassis Tower, Olympic Tower,
The shipping
on an
lines.
oil deal in New York City. And this little guy, really well-dressed guy, walked in, shuffled around, talked to some people, and he left. And I said, well, who is that man? He says, he's Konstantin Gratsos. He's the chief executive officer of Onassis Shipping. He was the right-hand man for 60 years of Aristotle Onassis. He's head of the Onassis Trust. I mean, he looked like a movie star. So next day I come, this is before they had security in buildings and metal detectors and all that stuff. I went from the top floor down, and I kept on looking for his office, and I found him. And I knocked on the door. His assistant opened the door. He says, yes, I'd like to see Mr. Gratsos. And she says, do you have an appointment? I go, no. But he could see me through the door, and he goes, and I walked in, and I said, can I buy you lunch? That's how the relationship started. I've always gone after, when I see somebody, when I was young, when I saw somebody that looked like a movie star walking in the room and people got quiet, whether they were a movie star or not, I knew he commanded the command presence that I wanted. And so I went, introduced myself, and that's how that started. And I met all kinds of, that's how I met President Trump before he was president a long time ago. But you have to have, you can't go up there stuttering with your hands sweating and dressed like you. With the greatest respect.
So actually, it's easy to do.
Yes, sir. It's absolutely dead easy.
Almost everybody can do it.
Well,
Follow the rules.
Everybody, if they dress like a person, like the president of your country. Some people, again, I'm sure this is not the case for your audience, Michael, but some people dress the way you do, kids, because you don't want the opportunity. You've been engaging in self-sabotaging activity so long, it's become a way of life for you. But success leaves clues. If all these guys work 80, 100, 120 hours a week that change the world, success leaves clues. God almighty. Elon Musk is a hard bastard. Henry Ford was a hard bastard. Rockefeller, and my interfacing with the Heineken family, and he was a hard bastard, So how do you think the world got changed? Slappy happy? I'll have another cappuccino. Is that how it happened? I don't think so. Now, you may not, Dan Pena isn't for everybody. I understand that. I can't understand it, really. But my wife tells me, you're not everybody's cup of tea. So I understand it. I don't want to believe it, but I know it's true. I'm 72 years old. But all the people I've been privileged to be around, I've been around some big, big hitters. They're all the same. But now, because of everything's on iPhone, they're trying to paint their legacy. Now they don't swear on camera. Now they don't do all these things because they want their legacy. I don't give a shit about my legacy. I want my legacy. When the Martians come down in 1,000 years, well, who is that crazy guy? I want them to know that because I'm not running for office. I'm not a politician. I gave up. I wanted to be a priest when I was a young guy, but that's not going to happen. I'm not going to be pope. But if I had become a priest, you bet your last guilder, if you still got any, that I would have been pope. And except for recent years, all the popes were ruthless for those Catholics in the room. Right? The Inquisition, all those terrible things. And now we got a pope who's trying to be a good guy, and I just hope nobody shoots him or anything.
Did your life change over the past 20, 25 years?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
In
what way?
I hate to admit it, but I actually get melancholy about all the people,
I see
of all the thousands and thousands of people that I've helped. It's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good feeling.
But I see you do bungee jumping.
Oh, yeah. Jumped
Crazy
off.
stuff.
Jumped off 108-story building in Las Vegas earlier this year, which was I shouldn't have done. My wife told me not to do it because I just got 2 artificial knees. I have these all titanium from here to here. And Sally says, Dan, go watch them land. I said, I don't want to watch them land. I don't want any negative in my head. I just want to jump off 108 stories, 855 feet, and I didn't land right because you have to land in a circle about this big and it's cement, and I didn't land right. I landed on 1 foot, and I fucked up this knee a little, but it's all right now. But I continue to do stuff like that to press the envelope because it's easy to get comfortable. I have not had to work in 35 years. I have not had to do anything in 35 years. Yet I'm sure if we took an average, I've maybe double the average weekly work of this audience by me. I'm 131 years old. We did a calculation 2 years ago because of all the hours I work. Instead of 70, I'm 131 because I've worked almost twice as many hours as the norm.
Is there anything left for you to wish for?
Yeah, I want to go to the moon.
We shared it.
I want to go to the moon.
Yeah.
And
same ship.
I want to hit $1 trillion. I will hit $1 trillion for the meatheads. I want to bring as many in when they talk about great coaches or great deities. There's God, there's Buddha, there's Muhammad, and Pena. And
That'll be great. It's a great painting.
In the reverse, Pena, God, and because I'm clearly the best on the planet today. There's not anyone even remotely close to what I've accomplished through you. And I get off vicariously bringing somebody that shouldn't make a penny, not a guilder. But somehow I made you make $100 million or guilders or pound or euros now, because I am the best on the planet at getting you to do what you don't want to do because you're a lazy fuck to get what you want out of life. Nobody's better than I am. Nobody. And I know it. And not everybody loves me, and I don't care. That's good. Again, if I leave here with anybody liking me, I failed. I failed.
You have another mission.
Yeah, I'm on a mission. I'm obsessed. If you can't tell obsession, who did I study speech giving when I was learning to be a world-class speaker? Hitler, Churchill, Kennedy, Stalin, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Those are the movies that I watched. Hitler was arguably the greatest orator the planet has ever seen, ever, including Jesus Christ. Being a high-performance person doesn't mean you're a good guy. And bad things happen to good people every single day. And some of you in the audience don't want, you can't, that doesn't resonate well with you. Part of the five credos of success is live when you're without, when you're without. In other words, when I was a young man, I didn't call it smelling the leather, but when I was a young man, I used to go to Ferrari dealerships. This is in the early 70s, I used to go to $2 million houses. And a $2 million house in the 1971 and 2 was behemoth. I used to go to La Quinta Country Club, where the night rental for one bedroom room was $215 a month, and my rent for my home was $205 a month, and it was $215 a night. So I've always pushed myself. I've been driving Rolls Royces since I was 25 and a half. My first Rolls Royce, in fact, I found a picture of it the other day, and it's part of the seminar now. A Rolls Royce, I'm 25 and a half. That's living within when you're without.
But did you visualize
Oh,
your
yes,
life
to visualize. I saw myself
in the castle?
in the castle. The painting of me in front of a castle is not my castle. It's how I saw myself. But I saw my castle had a moat, had 2 tennis courts. We've torn down the 1 tennis court. We built a golf course. We don't have a moat. We have a big lock. I saw our children being raised by nannies and governesses. I saw us dressing for every meal in tuxedo every night when my kids were little, dressed up in tuxedo. My kids hate wearing tuxedos now, and I overdid it a little there. But anyway, we used to play tennis in the snow and the rain. My kids hate tennis to this day. So I learned some things there, but being around and being exposed to wealth, I've always worn expensive clothes. And of course now, I can't get much more expensive suits now, but I mean when I was young, I know the difference between a bespoke suit and a tailor-made suit. Most of you don't. That's fine. Google it. Or a suit off the peg, you buy just out of the store. And those are the things, and they're important. You do what for your kids and your employees. Your kids and employees don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you do. Most of you have bad habits, but most of them are bad.
So we have to change
Yeah,
that.
and some of you have aspirations to have your children get good grades, right? A's, they have A's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't an A student. How do you think that resonates with your kids? Oh, he's full of shit like he always is. Especially if you're successful. I now realize our kids didn't have to go to big-time universities, multiple degrees. I didn't believe that years ago. I mean, you need to immerse yourself. Immerse yourself. It's better to go to a Michelin star restaurant like you were kind enough to take us last night, 1 night a month, then go out 4 nights a week.